Hey, what's going on out there, guys? Welcome to Screen Time Continuum. I was having a little bit of muting issue there. I think I pushed it about 4 times, which is an even number. Should have pushed it 5 for the odd, so it actually went on. But here I am now talking to you guys. Want to welcome you to the Screen Time Continuum on this wonderful Wednesday. We are here to bring you guys a new review of a Netflix movie that is also an Indian film that is entitled Jawan, or I'm not sure. I'm just going to run with Jawan. The extended cut, in fact. This movie just came out in September of this year, and it is already the number one grossing Indian film. Also, the director of this movie uh, has the second highest grossing. So he has the top two films in Indian culture or Indian film right now. And when I learned that, which I learned right before we started watching this movie, I was interested. So, with that being said, once again, my name is Keelan. I gave you all of that ahead of time. So, this is kind of your spoiler warning for a movie that really just came out 2 months ago. Kind of big. Everybody's watching it. Everybody's interested. I've heard a couple of people ask, like, hey, did you see that one trailer pop up? So, I'm giving you your spoiler warning and your spoiler alert before we even introduce ourselves. See how I did that, guys?
No.
All right, cool. I was talking to the listeners. But
Oh,
now that I have gotten that out of the way, your spoiler alert is over. And my name is Keelan. I am here, and I'm here with the fellas. What's going on, Nick? How you feeling? How you doing?
Hey man, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Kind of juiced and jazzed up. I don't know if you guys can tell. Like this is one to
Yeah,
talk about. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm ready to get into it. Mike, how you feeling?
man, I'm feeling fan-fucking-tastic. I was looking forward to
that's
this one.
good. All right.
I like that. Yes,
Mhm.
indeed.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me 1 minute. Well, we are here to review Jawan, which is again an Indian film that is on Netflix. Uh, hey Nick, can you take care of the specifics for me really quick?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask me that, and I thought to myself, I really should rehearse these names, and I
I
didn't do
knew
that.
that's what you were
So,
gonna say.
all right. Well, here we go,
Let's see if I can
guys.
help you with some of these. I
I'm going
got you.
to apologize to our Indian friends out there and listeners because it's going to be hard for me. But yes, Keelan, you're right. This came out September 7th of 2023. Our country of origin is India, and it is in Hindi and English. And it was directed by Atlee, and it's written by Sumit Arora, Atlee, and Ramana Giri Vasan. Sorry. And it stars Shah Rukh Khan, Nayathara, and Vijay Sethupathi. There we go. And the synopsis for this film is a high octane thriller which outlines the emotional journey of a man who is set to rectify the wrongs in society. There you go. That's pretty vague.
You know what's crazy? I saw
Yeah.
3 different plot descriptions for this. I saw that one. I saw another one that says a man breaks women out of prison to commit crimes.
Yes, that does
Um,
happen too.
and
It's
then
an
what was the
Indian
other
film,
one?
so we're gonna there's like 5 different storylines going on. So
Right.
Right,
yeah.
right. Which are all actually, this is one of the movies where I was very impressed with the way all of the storylines were woven together. Like
Mm.
they really kind of finished each other complete. They really came together at the end, and every single story, in my opinion, if I can remember it all correctly, off top, really hit home. It made the story more impactful.
I just want to
Uh,
say that all these women were absolutely gorgeous.
I knew you were gonna say
Absolutely
that.
we
gorgeous. Oh
appreciate you for
man,
saying that. We
Yeah.
man,
appreciate you for saying that. Little bit of honesty in the air. Go ahead, shred it out, shred it out.
it wasn't
Mhm.
even dirty. It's like, god damn, they are just
All right, all
gorgeous,
right, all right, bro.
All right. All right.
gorgeous.
It's like, where are you going with this?
Beta.
I don't even. Beta. I'm like, I don't
Hey,
want to know what's going
I
on
take that
next.
charge today.
So, yeah. Well, you know what? Well, Mike, it sounds like you've already started. What are your first impressions of this movie full of beautiful women?
Oh man, I love this movie. I think this might be the best movie I've seen all year.
Interesting.
I'm not even capping. The action was good. The comedy was good. The seriousness of the story was good. The acting was, decent. I love the fact that every dance scene had a big fan and everybody's hair was blowing. I loved it. I loved everything about this movie. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought this movie was fantastic.
They was all dancing like Superman, huh?
Hey man, whatever.
Man,
Better than everything that Disney put out this year and last
Oh
year and the
God,
year before.
no
we ain't got to
lies.
mention them.
Mm-mm.
We don't have to mention them.
Right.
Let those dogs stay where they at.
If I have
All
any
right.
complaints, it's just that it was 8 hours long.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to watch
Actually,
it
I'm
over
not
the last
complaining about it.
week. So
Uh, you don't knock it off. Where are you watching it? 15-minute increments?
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Nick was watching it like an anime. Like, all right.
Yeah.
We
Right.
got to
20,
a
22
climax.
minutes. 22 minutes
Right.
each. There you go.
Next time
See,
on
as soon as they
Jawan.
get, wait, I was about to say, sometimes as soon as it get interesting, Nick goes and the pause.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right.
What
That's
do you
all
guys
your
think?
first impressions,
Oh yeah.
Mike. Okay.
Yeah.
Nick, how'd you feel? What'd you think?
Yeah, man, I really enjoyed this movie too. It is almost 3 hours long, which really, if you're gonna watch an Indian film, just buckle up because you're gonna be sitting there for a little while.
Yeah.
Luckily, though, the pacing in this is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't find myself like feeling overly fatigued by the runtime, which is good. I thought it was actually a lot funnier than I was anticipating. Like there was a ton of jokes in this movie that landed
Yeah.
for me.
Yep.
The action was fun. The
Yep.
story is interesting and sort of epic. And again, like Keelan said at the beginning, sort of things tying together.
Mhm.
Very mythological as a lot of Indian cinema is. Yeah, it's bombastic. I will say that if I do have a critique for it, I don't think that the dance sequences are as strong as RRR, but this is definitely better than Godfather Hindi that we
Yeah.
watched. I like this a lot better. I don't like it as much as RRR because of the dance sequences, but the story is right there in comparison. So I think that
Okay.
it's a solid flick. It was a lot of fun to watch. A very good visually, and yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, hot points. Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly with both of you. This movie was amazing. Not just amazing, amazing. Um, every beat of this was nice. It was 3 hours, but it really didn't feel like it. Like you dare I say it could have been 3 hours and 25 minutes, and I still would have been fine. That's a whole nother 35 minutes, guys.
Right.
Yeah, no, this movie was nice through and through. Um, I agree that the music scenes, like the actual shots, weren't as strong as some of the other ones we've seen. However, the music itself, I felt like, and not just the words, because I don't know what they're really saying. I'm reading subtitles, but the melodies and things. It almost felt modern. It was as if, and I could be wrong. Like these could be old hymns and sounds and syncopations that we're just not hearing over here in America. So to us, it's like, oh, that's that 2023 Afro beat thing they got going. But I really enjoyed the music itself. I thought it was a little more creative. A lot of times, I feel like the music is just kind of part of the script when we come to Indian cinema. But in this one, I felt like, yeah, a few of the songs were telling part of the story, and a few of the songs were just there for entertainment, which I don't think you usually get both in a movie. Um, yeah, I really liked this. I'm trying to think of all the things I liked and talk about them now. But why talk about that? The fighting scenes were great. Uh, the creativity, the style was great. The cinematography I also liked. And did I say creativity already? I did say that, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. The creativity, the uniqueness. It almost reminded me of a really bad Will Smith movie that I've seen. Oh, sorry. Oh, haha. A really, oh, no, I did see that movie. Yeah, a really bad Will Smith movie that I've seen.
Why
But
did somebody get slapped?
no, he played a younger and older version of himself.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it wasn't a terrible movie, but it
Uh-huh.
something happens in this movie that makes me think of that, and I'm like, wow, they did it better.
Uh-huh.
Um, within that, I'm not even sure how else to add to this. The acting I liked. That's what. Yeah, the acting. I actually thought the acting was touched up a little bit. I feel like like I know Mike was like, the acting, man. I feel like the acting was touched up. I really feel like they probably brought in some heavy hitters that we just don't know. Like the lady who plays Narmada, she's probably one of the biggest women in Indian cinema. I know in 2018 she made Forbes. I want to say the Forbes. What I know she made Forbes in like 2018. So they brought in some heavy hitters that I know of. So I'm sure if we looked into some of the other actors in this film, even some of the cameos, that they put on for Indian cinema. That's the way to explain it. They put on for their city and made sure that everybody knew that this was a part of legacy being made. So I
Yeah,
liked it.
I think. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I liked it. I hope there's a Jawan too, and if there's not, I understand because there's nothing in this story that really makes you think there's gonna be a second part. Um, and hell, I'd watch this again. I'm saying that
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I think that what helps with the acting is that there's a lot of English in this movie,
Hmm.
True.
which helps with people who don't speak Hindi or understand Hindi. Um,
Yeah. I
although
did feel like there was a little bit of Spanish like towards the end, which was
there
confusing me
was
because I'm
in
like,
one of the
wait,
songs. Yeah, there was in one of the
yeah, that's what it
songs.
was. It was a song. You're right. Because I was like, I know what they're saying, and I don't speak. This has to be Spanish. I'm not tripping.
Yeah. Interesting though, because it's in Hindi, I was able to pick up some of the words because I know Farsi, and there's a
Right.
lot of there was actually a lot of crossover that I picked up,
Nice.
which is interesting. Share of language and culture and all of that stuff. So,
Wait, so when we watch movies that have Farsi, you be cheating, huh?
oh, I mean, I don't know if we've seen a movie with Farsi in it, but
I
this
don't know
is
if
the
we have either.
first Hindi. I think we usually watch Telugu, and this is the first Hindi one that we've watched.
To my knowledge, there's always Telugu, Hindi, and I cannot think of the third. But there's three languages in Indian cinema that's always on Netflix. They always have all three of them.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think Hindi is the third one. I could be wrong, but I think Hindi is the third one.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, but I agree. I usually watch the Telugu version as well. I'm not sure if it maybe the language is easier on the ears or it just sounds it's easier to let them talk in that language while I'm reading the subtitles. I don't know honestly, but I think the same that's typically the version we watch.
To be
Yeah.
honest, I just read the subtitles. I don't hear the
You don't
words so
care
much.
either way. Yeah. Yeah, I try to find some
Pick
level
up
of familiarity with what they sound like.
right, so you can kind of learn the language a bit. I wish I had an ear for that because that would make learning a new language for me easier. I can't
Man,
do
Yeah,
that.
it would.
just watch a lot of movies in that language.
I
Yeah,
do.
I'm about to say
yeah,
you
there you
watch
I
more
go.
watch
if
a
you watch
lot
a
of
lot of kung
anime.
fu flicks, you'd be
I watch,
surprised how much Mandarin
man.
you understand.
I should be able to speak fluent Japanese if that's the case, and Mandarin if that's the case.
Fair enough.
I
Maybe.
got like
Yeah.
8 words.
I ain't say I can speak it. I said, you'd be like, hey, I heard that word before. That was, oh, shoot. He said orange. Oh, man. But yeah, indeed.
So how are we going to tackle this really long movie? I don't know if we can do like
6 pages of notes. Yeah, for sure not.
yeah. I know you took a lot of notes in this one. I know that for sure.
And
All
yeah,
right.
this was very detailed as well. I
Um,
appreciated the level of
I
detail
got
to
an
this one.
idea.
Go
What's
for
up?
it.
Um, you can cover the individual storylines for each of the girls that they used, and then cover the primary storyline for the what's his name? What was it?
Azad or Vikram?
Azad. Yeah.
Mhm. That's a
And
yeah.
that way you kind of break into each major section of the movie.
Well, yeah, I think it kind of fairly enough. I think Act 1, 2, and 3 are separated by dance scenes.
Right.
So,
Well, I didn't want to
um,
go that broad because I didn't know
yeah,
if we could do that because I was
I
thinking
think
the
there are
same
like
thing too.
9 dance scenes.
No,
I don't know. I
It's
don't think
about, it's
so.
at least 6.
I don't
Maybe
think
there's
it's that
6
many.
parts in this movie. I don't know. But yeah,
No, no,
so
no. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No,
Maybe
yes. Sorry,
no. Go
we
ahead.
don't have we're talking over each other there. That's no, I just think that if we try to go like beat by beat, it's gonna get really long. So
Yeah,
um,
tumultuous.
yeah,
Is that the word?
It's a
maybe
15-hour movie, so yeah.
yeah. Maybe Keelan, if you could look through your notes and sort of bracket it out how you think is best, and then we
Yeah,
can
which I
just
honestly I
tackle.
meant to do that, but I didn't.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, let's
Start
because
from the
I
beginning.
think I have a
yeah.
yeah, I think I have a way to do it. Yeah, it'll work. I think this will work. So the movie begins, we meet a guy who is helped out by a village. He saves a village. He almost comes to life like a god of sorts.
A
And
mummy.
Mummy,
yeah,
yeah.
because they bring him into the village seemingly dead. We don't know how they found him, where they found him. We see he's dripping, leaking blood, so it's fresh blood. He just was killed. Um, and yeah, at the end of this battle where he saves this village from a militia, a little boy says to him, "I'm gonna grow up and find out who you are," because this guy, even though he just saved them as something like a not a messiah, but what's the word?
They use
Um,
the word Messiah.
did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, they did use
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
word messiah. So
Mhm.
yeah, something like a messiah. He says he's gonna find out who he is because this guy has no memory. He has no clue who he is. For years, he lives in this place that no one knows he is there. Everybody thinks he's dead, in fact. Um, which we find out a lot later about who this guy is and why everybody thinks he's dead. But initially, we just fast forward 30 years and then we get to a train hijacking. We see a bunch of women get on. We're introduced to them vicariously through the credits, but we're not exactly told anything about them. We discover that this train is being hijacked because the hijackers would like to get back some money to give to the agricultural occupationists of the country. So all of the farmers have been cheated by the government. They've been cheated in multiple ways. And that's really what they're doing is they're getting money and they take all the money that they get from
Yeah,
this
buddy.
hijacking and they give it back to the people. Now, while
Yeah.
we're on this train,
What you
sorry,
say?
and it's a total of 40,000 crore, which I'm not exactly sure how that converts
Yeah.
and what that looks like to us, but it seems like 40,000 crore is enough, or crore rupee. I'm assuming crore and rupee are two different, so when you put them together, that's a higher level. Um, I believe. I could
I'm
be wrong.
surprisingly, I don't know the
Right.
monetary
I understand.
system.
I
So
thought I
yeah.
did know. I honestly thought I did, and then I started looking it up, and I got more confused. So I'm not going to say I know. I'm just talking
Yeah.
about what I saw in the movie.
What I will say is
Um,
that the I really enjoyed the train scene. I thought that that
Yeah.
was a lot of fun. I
great
I
thought it
like
was
kill.
the intro too.
yeah, no, I did too actually. The fight scene in the intro is really good.
Yeah,
Brutal and sort of bloody and just what you want. But
right.
yeah, the train scene was a lot of fun, man. I thought that that was kind of right out of the pages of, like old Hollywood action. And I
Yes.
thought that was really
Thank
good.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. This
I think that's why
entire
we like this
movie,
movie so much.
yes,
Mhm.
this entire movie rings somewhere between 97 and '03.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
Like,
kind of it tells its story a little bit like a comic book too, which I
yep,
like. Yeah.
very Spawn like. Oh, yeah. This movie is
Mhm.
99.
There you go. That's a good year. It's a good
Yeah.
Yeah.
year. 99. Yeah. But yeah, the
Oh,
the
yeah.
train scene is a lot of fun. You get to introduced to all the sort of like the what was the Kill Bill term? The the deadly assassin or the deadly Viper squad or
Oh
whatever.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think that's what they were, right? The Viper Squad.
I don't know what they were called, but they were
And
yeah. They
Bill's
were
girls.
right, Bill's girls. And we get
Besides
introduced
girls.
we get
Actually, they were
introduced
Chiefs girls. Sorry,
yes,
I
Yeah.
keep
well,
cutting you
Yeah.
off. I'm gonna
his
shut up.
it's all right. Our microphones don't work very well, so let's see. We get introduced to the character. What's his name?
Azad.
No,
Well,
his pseudonym.
Vikram.
Chief.
Vikram. I'm
Chief
sorry. Let me
would
get
technically be a pseudonym as well. Vikram
Rator.
Rator.
Rator. Yeah.
Ratore.
Not
Yes, we're
Ratatouille.
introduced. Not Ratatouille. No. Yes, we're introduced to Vikram Rator. but we're also introduced to the girls, and we find out that Vikram um it's something like a Robin Hood type. He holds these hijacking, these almost terroristic like plots, and his intent is to benefit the people of India, not to benefit himself. In fact, we didn't see through this entire movie, through any of the hijackings or any of the endeavors that were had, himself or any of the other people who were doing the work taking anything for themselves.
Or kill.
Not
Well,
even.
yeah, and I think it was a good way to establish that in the train scene too was him faux killing that woman,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah, she was one.
having
She was one of them.
right having her being in on it. I think that was actually a nice touch for sure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I like how they did that, seeing as how the cop who had gave them the age and all of that to find the woman, he had no clue what was going
That
on.
that was funny, dude. He's like, "How old's your mom? 52 or 55?
55, yeah.
Ooh, let's find mommy."
Let's find mummy. Yeah, I thought actually, so I was liking Vikram from the beginning because I really thought he was like that bad guy. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, whoa, like we got a real one on our hands here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, the
But
untouchable
we
bad guy. Yeah.
the untouchable bad guy, and essentially he was the untouchable bad guy, and then you
Mhm.
find out, as we're saying, he wasn't the bad guy.
Mhm.
Or at least not to us as the viewer. To the government, he was absolutely the bad guy.
Right.
Um,
I was
so on
inspired.
this train, yeah, yes, indeed. On this train, you find out that I forget her name, but the daughter of one of the biggest gun dealers in the world, Kali, she is there, and they use her to get to her dad and have him send over the money.
Her name is
And what
Aaliyah.
we, Aaliyah, thank you.
Mhm.
And what we see through here is he has no problem giving up this money because the police and everybody are under the impression they'll be able to trace the money, get it back, and uh, take the assailants down. However, that does not work. What actually happens is all of the money is distributed about 7,000 different accounts, and then they put that together and realize, oh, those are the accounts of all of the farmers.
Seven
And now
million.
that's all
7 million.
7 million. Sorry, 7 million. And that even makes the news that all of these farmers and agriculturalists are now getting their money back. All of their debts are being paid off. In fact, it wasn't that they were given money, their debts were paid off. So they no longer owed the bank or the government.
Right.
And they were able to go back to living life because we saw one of the girls that are on the squad. I forget her name right now. I wrote it down. No, I don't see it
Actually,
initially, but huh?
actually.
Lakshmi
I don't think it was Lakshmi. I thought Lakshmi was
or
way later. It
Ishkara.
might be though, because she is the one who got shot, huh?
I
Imra was
believe.
the doctor.
Yes, Imra was
Yeah,
the
Dr.
doctor.
Emerald's the doctor.
Lakshmi was the one who
She
I think
died
she
at
was the
the end.
older one. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, she died at the end.
The
I'm
girl
not
at the
sure.
village with the father was, I think it's Ishkara.
Ishkara. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Hold
so
on.
Ishkara, uh, she's the one who her father knew that she was in school, so would send her off to school to get her education because that was what she was to do. The rest of the family had to tend to the land because they were farmers. And instead, what ends up happening is her father, after being humiliated, seemingly have already been mutilated over a debt that he owed to the bank and to the guys like Kali G. And
For a tractor.
for over a tractor, thank you, for a loan
Mhm.
so he could buy a tractor. They take the tractor, which settles the debt, quote unquote, but now he has to pay the interest and all of that. And after he's no longer around, and they have a funeral for him after his daughter comes home and sees him after she gets off the bus from school.
Well, he
The
hangs himself because the government pays $2,000 to farmers who commit suicide.
Oh, I forgot that part. I did not write that down
Mhm.
either. I
Yeah.
forgot that
I didn't
part. You're
realize that
absolutely
was
right.
I didn't realize they got money for it. I
It's
didn't
Yeah,
realize.
yeah,
I
I think
forgot
it said
about
in
that.
the newspaper. I was pretty sure. Yeah.
And that
Oh,
makes
okay.
sense as to why. Yeah, it was on a bulletin board.
Mhm, mhm.
It was on a bulletin board. But now that makes sense as to why when the guy comes and he's talking about interest, that's the money he's trying to take now
Yeah,
because he knows that's coming. Oh
right.
wow. Talk about 20 hours later, I learned something new about a 3 hour
Mhm.
movie. Um, So yeah, and that's what happens is they come, and then so we see that's why she's a part of the crew and why she believes in the mission that they have going on here. Again, as we said, as Vikram did not murder anyone. They escape the police. They repay all of the farmers, and yeah, the money ends up being found. Excuse me, the money is not found
You know,
because they can't freeze it. Uh-huh.
Mm.
that really made me wonder kind of about the value of their money, because if he got 40,000 crore rupees or whatever,
Rupee.
however you say it, and it got distributed 7 million accounts, how
Mhm.
much is that?
That's what I said. I said I wish I knew the real conversion.
Right. No, it's just when now that we're talking about it, it made me reevaluate that, because I was thinking it at the time, like 7 million accounts, 40,000 rupees. Man, I don't understand how that work at all.
Yeah.
I'm,
Just at
I'm
all.
assuming a crore rupee probably is actual like a million or something like that, like one.
That's what I was kind of.
A
It would
crore
have to be
denotes
something like that.
here, I got you guys. A crore
Mhm.
denotes 10 million.
10 million.
So
Whoa.
40,000, 10 million.
Oh,
Makes sense.
So we talking about like 30 trillion.
Yeah, in rupees.
okay. Now that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. I like it. I like it a lot.
Right.
Um. So yeah.
That's
So we
how you
find out
rob from
Armando's
the
on the
rich.
case. Oh, for sure. Robin Hood in reality. We find out that these 6 women are all in jail. They sneak in and out. Um. The hijacker sent a message to Kali and told him that his name is Vikram Rathore. And we're at this moment not knowing why that means anything to Kali. But seeing his face, it means something.
Yeah.
Because he definitely he went from real cool like to
Oh,
Yes. And this also introduces
okay.
Narmada, right? Narmada is the
Yes.
captain of the police.
She is the head of Force One. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's like, I guess that would make her bigger than the Secret Service. Like she'd be the head of SEAL Team 6 type business.
Who
I
knows?
don't know, but she could arrest me.
Man, listen, you behave yourself over there, sir.
I
Right?
am behaving.
Relax.
Offset a goddamn law.
Hey,
Respect that one.
you have your wives. I'm single. Let me have it.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
There you
I don't know
go.
what that feels like. I'm sorry for stepping on your
No
toes.
problem. Yeah, yeah. Play on, Playboy.
Play on, right? Exactly. Play on, player. Uh,
Mhm.
so yeah, the warden arrives at the jail that these ladies stay at, and we see that the warden is going to receive an award. And when the warden gets on stage and we see his face, we see as the viewers immediately, oh, that's the same guy we just saw at the hideout.
Mhm.
Oh shit! So the warden is the terrorist. Hey yo, this is just getting better every time we meet somebody. All right, cool. Mind you, we're only about 40 minutes into this movie, a
Was
3 hour
that
movie.
40
So it's
minutes?
like
Probably 30. Yeah,
about 30.
30,
Wow.
40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That like Nick said, the pacing on this movie was so good. Like you would look
Yeah.
down and be like, dang, like we're that far in, and then you'd be like, wait, we're only that far in? Like
Right.
Right.
he
Because
was
it's
hot and
just a
cold.
good movie, though.
Yeah, just a good movie, just kept going. And again, with me taking these notes, sometimes I end up pausing for a minute, gotta get up. I went and got some food a couple times. Like, yeah, a couple times I said it.
I
I
think
said it. I
this
got
was
a meal
my
once and then I got a
yeah.
snack.
Oh, I paused it like 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was my favorite dance sequence though. Was his
Uh
introduction at the jail.
Yeah, that was a good dance sequence.
that was a
Yeah.
And
very
I don't
good
even
dance
like
sequence.
musicals, to be fair. I don't like musicals.
You know, I don't think Indian
And I don't know
films
if I
fall into a
classify these
musical
in my brain as
category.
that,
Mm-mm. I don't
even though they are.
personally consider these musicals.
Technically, I think they kind of are to a degree, because they have multiple scenes where there's dancing and singing.
I understand. I consider these more of theatrical productions
I'll go along with whatever,
than
because it works for me
yeah.
too, and I don't really like musicals.
Me neither.
And when
I
I
don't
say
like him at
musical,
all.
on the American standard, like I don't know what a musical is in India. I don't know what a musical is in UK. I know
Regular,
here a musical is annoying and obnoxious, is what it is.
right?
And
Yeah.
I actually like musicals, but they can be super obnoxious in the
Well,
wrong setting.
we'll have that discussion off the air.
Yeah, we can have it on
Yeah,
here. I
yeah,
don't care how they feel. I got an opinion. It is what it is. Um. So yeah, the warden arrives. We find out that he is the guy. But we also find out that he is the kind of warden that has prepared his jail for these women to not only benefit themselves, but to benefit those on the outside and have new skills for when they go back outside. So they make clothes for kids. They
Wait a
make
minute.
prosthetic limbs for kids. Yeah.
Are you talking about rehabilitation?
No, we're talking about recidivism.
Too many big words.
lowering
Too many
that.
big
Okay.
words.
Yes. We're talking about what you said.
Yeah.
But that's what they call it. It's recidivism. Um, they even have a radio station where some of them are learning how to do that, how to run radio networks and whatnot. But
Teaching actual life skills. Who would have thought
yeah.
it?
Hey, I mean, jail, not prison. So
And then you break out into dance once in a while. That sounds like fun,
hey,
man. I'm down.
hey.
I don't think
Yeah,
I'd mind that particular prison.
Everybody
That-
had those nice mint green jumpsuits. They look good.
Hey man,
Right.
nothing wrong with a little mint in your life. Get that mint in
Mhm.
your life, man. I
Hey,
don't care
all
what
them-
nobody say. I ain't never know until I had a mint shirt. First time you wear a mint, it just make you feel different. You be like, why have I never worn this before?
I should be sipping a
don't-
pina colada on the beach in Miami. Come on.
I don't know about
Um,
Miami.
Yeah, it just makes me think of Miami Vice or something.
Miami Vice.
Hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Y'all, never mind.
You know what? Oh, whippersnapper. Get off my lawn.
That's
We
right.
mentioned something too close to home. Sorry.
Yes.
So we get to the warden. He's interviewing suitors, for matchmaking. And the irony of that for me was I was so confused at first. Like, what do they mean matchmaking? Like, he's a warden and a matchmaker? Like, yo, buddy is killing the game. And then you get into the scene and you go, oh, they're matchmaking for him.
Hmm.
Why is there a little girl sitting there?
Yeah.
But
I understood almost immediately what was about to happen. Almost immediately.
Operative word is almost immediately.
Oh,
I
thank
think
you.
we
I
all
was
had
about to
that
say.
split second.
almost is the word that you had to use, because there was
Yeah.
almost a point where I was about to pause this thing, like, we're not watching this shit.
Right.
Right.
Well, wait a damn minute.
Wait a goddamn minute. But you know what? I'm so glad that I sat quietly to get through that scene, or to get through the moment, because it was a great scene. One, two,
Mhm.
I had to remind myself this is not American cinema.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the
Every-
whole statement right there.
They don't have the
think you
same
mean-
kind of agendas in the
I think you
hidden
mean-
backgrounds.
I think you mean French cinema.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so there's a young lady sitting there, all of the age of 10, and she is the daughter of a woman who could not make it because her work is so demanding. But her child is there to vet this man for suitorship. And in my opinion, she started off amazingly by letting them know, like, all right, now that y'all
Right.
done talking, since he gonna be spending the rest of his life raising me,
Mhm.
can we talk? Can I learn something about this dude real quick? All
I
right,
actually
cool.
thought that was pretty dope too. I ain't gonna lie.
I
That's
thought that was
cute.
pretty cool. And it was right. It was cute on the level of, oh, she was raised the right way.
Mhm.
Like, maybe I do want to meet your mama. Excuse me, not me.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, if you live in 2023, you understand exactly what's going on. We ain't gotta
Yeah.
explain it.
Maybe Mike
So,
does want to meet her mama.
Mike definitely want to
certainly
meet her mama.
does.
Mike was sitting there talking about, where this girl mama at?
Yeah.
But
Actually, I was like, I know exactly who her mama is.
Mhm.
I figured that out
you know what? Yeah,
immediately.
that was obvious. I still appreciate the way it happened, that we were introduced to be told that Narmada was her mother, excuse me. And I like that they waited till then to really tell us, because then we got to get the backstory on the relationship and all of that. Like, is there a dad in the midst? What's going on? Like, oh, she's stepping out on her dude.
I was
But no, that's
actually,
not
my
the
first thought
situation.
was more like, oh, we propping up single mothers again, are we?
Hey, not being funny, but I remember those
Not
movies.
American cinema.
Right.
Yeah,
I
Nick's
gotta
right.
remember that.
Right?
And so I will tell you why that caters to what I was just about to say. I remember those movies, and man, that was a better time in life. There's a lot more violence on the streets, unfortunately, but I mean, mentally, that was a much better time in life.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There was way less confusion on certain stuff.
Nope, don't ask, Keelan. Keep it pushing.
I wasn't gonna say
You saw?
nothing
Did you
else.
see me? Did you
Yes.
see me?
Yeah.
I
I saw
wasn't
that.
gonna elaborate though, but I can see the light bulbs and the gears turning.
Yep. I saw that question bubbling up in your head there, man.
I was like, what is he? I don't think I should ask. I don't. And then you said it, Keelan. Don't ask. All right, I won't.
Mhm,
Explain it to me later.
mhm.
For the listeners and the viewers, sometimes I just miss things. Like y'all might even heard what he said and know what he's talking about. I missed it. But anyway,
Whatever do you mean?
so she decides. Her name is Suji.
Suji.
Yeah, Suji.
It is Suji.
Mhm.
So Suji goes outside with Azad, and he asks her, what kind of a husband is her mom looking for? And she goes, I don't know. I'm looking for a papa.
Right. I was like,
Like,
right on.
she was raised the right way. I can't speak for that woman, but I'm
Right.
here to see if you're well enough to at least be able to handle this end of the job. You
If you
still
can
got to deal with me, dude.
if you can teach me math and watch horror stories or horror movies with
Horror
me,
movies.
good.
I thought that was
Mhm.
so cute.
Adorable.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Teach me math. Smack my teacher when they tell me I'm being bad. Like someone, what do
Yeah.
you want me to come and talk to the teacher? I want you to smack him. Like, oh,
Yeah.
Right. I was
Mhm.
like,
I can do
all
that.
right. Yeah, this is legit
I
right
can do
here.
that. Watch a scary movie, hold my hand. Like, you know what, little mama, we got it. Let's do this thing. We daughter. You know what I'm talking about? It got to the point immediately she's calling him when she's in trouble at school. That's when he meets Narmada. He's a warden. She's the top police in the nation. So she know who he is. He know who she is. And man, if that man spilled hot tea all over his chest, didn't even flinch because he was in such shock. Not just because
Uh-huh.
she's beautiful, as Mike said, and as he showed in his viewings, but
Yeah.
simply because he understands, like, I might be losing my job right now or my freedom. I'm not sure.
Well, technically, he lost his freedom.
I don't think he mind losing his freedom.
I
I think
wouldn't.
that was perfectly okay. But that's my point. That's exactly what. Oh wow! I just realized that could have been jail when I said that.
Mhm.
That's not what I meant though. But I meant what you said.
You're right.
So we get to song number 3. No, actually, I'm not playing for the record.
Yeah.
But let's see. Mom arrives. They get to know each other. We find out that her dad never wanted children, told her to abort. And apparently he was some big wig dude that had dough. And she was like, nah, I'm out. And she was in Boston apparently in school. So she was in America when she got pregnant, which is interesting. But fast forward. The agriculture minister is shot while he's giving a speech. And why is he shot? Because he's lying about the conditions of the government hospitals and which has caused many people to lose life, caused 60 children to die at one point. And this is when we're introduced to Dr. Irma.
Technically, he asked to be shot.
He
He
did.
absolutely kept, shoot me,
He really did.
bruh.
I was like, wait a minute.
Relax.
Hold
He
up.
kept saying it,
So they
but
right.
but I appreciated it because that is the boldness that politicians come with.
Right.
Yeah, our
Like,
hospitals are so good. Somebody could kill me right now, and they would save me.
and I'll be
whatever.
fine. It's like, all right, let's prove it. Let's prove it.
Nope.
Now once that happened, and that happened about 3 years ago when all the kids lost their life. So now he's shot. One of the girls is the doctor that was falsely imprisoned for the children dying, and he was one of the people on watch, as well as others who, when she tried to get the help, she was basically threatened because everybody above her makes money off of the things that come into the hospital. So you want to get mad that these things aren't there? Guess what? Nobody cares but you.
Mhm.
And she didn't like that. So because of that, they now have the agriculture minister. They're asking for the health minister to come forward and tell the truth about what's really going on and how all these things have come to be. They add running water, toilets, AC to all of the hospitals as they said they would, or as they
In
said they had already done
5
20 years
hours.
ago, and they got it done in 5 hours exactly. Something that they were supposed to take 20 years to do. He gave them
Yeah.
5 hours and they accomplished it.
I'm just going to use my little finger here, and I'm just going to go just a little bit up at that picture right there. 5 hours in every hospital is better now. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
All right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just know
I
they have
appreciate
been.
what they did, though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, it moved the
the
story
message was
along.
sent.
Right.
Yeah, the message was sent, and I think even outside of the movie, like in a real world way, this movie sends some real messages to any society that's willing to sit and watch. I don't think this movie is predominantly sending messages to India, but the entire globe. Like people need to
Absolutely.
pay attention to certain things, and we're gonna get to that because that comes up a little later. Um, but in the moment, what we see is there is a consistency of them hijacking and doing things to make sure that the government does right by the people. And mostly only things that they've already promised. They're not asking for anything new. They're only asking for the things that were already actually promised to the people and they haven't received.
Mhm.
So after all of that happens, they get all of the hospitals taken care of. The minister is healed. Yeah, they try to ambush him and take him down and all that. That don't work. That don't work. It's like, hey man, we out of this thing. We know what we're doing. And that's something else I thought was really cool is they had such entrance and exit plans down so well. It was like, man, like that's one of the reasons I actually want to rewatch this movie is all of the escapes.
Yeah.
Like, man, there was some
It's kind of
daring.
like a
Wait,
Fast and the Furious movie, to be honest. A little bit.
man, I can't remember.
Nah,
I
because
can't remember.
they physics works better for me.
I think their physics definitely work better.
Yeah. There's a lot more
But
there's a lot more wire work here, which makes it a
yeah,
little bit more fantastical, which I like. Yeah.
I forgot what movie I'm thinking of, but there is, you know what? I'm vaguely thinking of. I guess it's Batman '89 with Jack Nicholson, or is that
Mhm.
'90? Anyway, but Batman 1990, where he's like, where does he get all those wonderful toys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they always go. They are always strapped, man.
Always,
Mhm.
always. So let's see. Narmada has Irani, who is her assistant, second in charge, second in command. You know, doing some recon work, having the people draw up some pictures 25, 35, and 45 so that she can try to find Vikram and, you know, punish him because that's her job is to catch the bad guy and punish him. But today is not the day she's doing that because now she's off getting married and she's getting married to Warden Azad. I appreciate how we did not need to see all of this romantic, let's take a date here, let's go there, let's
Right.
have an argument, let's
Yeah.
get. We didn't need a mini rom-com in the middle of this 3-hour movie, and they made sure not to give us one. It was as simple as
Amen.
they came, they saw, they conquered, and that's it.
Pause.
And they did. They did. But they're off getting married.
And it was
Uh-huh.
still nice.
What was
Yeah.
nice?
Yeah. The
Oh,
whole
the whole
marriage and
relationship.
all of it.
The
Yeah,
whole
you're right.
relationship was still nice without having to go into all those details of them falling in love and him kissing her butt,
You're
basically.
right. Absolutely. Yeah, because that's what it would have turned into. Absolutely.
Right.
But you're right. It holds more weight, in my opinion, than those long drawn out stories, because those long drawn out stories give you things to poke holes in.
Yeah.
Um, but so her assistant Irani discovers that the terrorist that they're looking for is in fact, or at least looks like, Azad. And because of that, he goes and I mean, excuse me, I almost said something else.
And I'm gonna tell you
At
the
the same
truth.
time, I
It
knew
was
right
at
then
this
and there too.
point. Right. Right.
I knew right
Okay.
then and there.
Right.
It was at this
It was
point
at
he
this
knew he
point.
fucked up.
How is
Right.
it that you can both speak over each other at the same time? That's
Oh
amazing.
crap! And it's so funny because I think we can hear each other perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Oh, you
When
can't
we
hear
were
us?
No, I
no,
can
we
hear
were
you,
talking
but
at the same time.
yeah, when you
Oh.
talk at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's
Oh.
hard to
Yeah,
discern who's saying what.
he's not panning us from ear to ear, but
No.
because I only have one ear, I'm not hearing both of us. I'm only hearing you.
Mhm.
Oh.
Right. So when Nick said, I'm like, oh, that makes sense that he can hear both of us, but we can only hear one of us because we're the ones talking. Um, boop, 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 boop. So, Kali's man Manish also finds out that Azad is the guy, and he decides, excuse me, to ambush Azad and Narmada, assuming that Narmada is in on everything. And during this time, Azad happened to actually be on the phone with the girls because they called him from prison, which they're never supposed to do. But they called him from their prison, kind of just to congratulate him on getting married. You know, there's still a small knit kind of family group there that's kind of
Mhm.
changing the world. And luckily they did, because that's when they hear the gunshots and hear that they're being ambushed. They gear up faster than Superman can change in the phone booth, and they hop on over there because they know where the hideout is already. They know what's up. Then when they discover he's not where he's supposed to be so fast, they also were able to track his whereabouts. I thought that was dope too, because I don't know how they didn't explain how they did that. They didn't show like, oh, cell phone or nothing, but they were able to track him down. Um, and we see that Manish is trying to take him out. This is where, to me, it's like, ayo, we're about 2 hours in. We're entering like the last hour of the movie, but this shit about to get crazy.
Right.
Um, but I didn't know it was gonna get as crazy as it got. Like I knew it was about to get crazy just because the way it was moving, but I was like, all right, dang, the girls about to turn SEAL Team 6 Charlie's Angels in this thing. But that's not what
Yeah.
happened. That's not what happened at all. So we see Vikram's getting tortured. We see Narmada got shot in the arm by Manish. Um,
This is where I
and
kind of had a problem later on.
okay. What ends up happening is the girls all get in position so that they can save and attack. But what actually happens is somebody bursts through the wall, a larger than life like figure, and what he does is he takes out the entire militia with, was that a camshaft in his head? That was a camshaft, right?
I'm honestly have no idea.
Okay. Looked like a car part.
Maybe.
But yeah, he's literally sawing heads off with it. He's hammering and sledgehammering and Willie Mays and folk out the park, just getting it in. And we all come to find out that the guy who's there saving everybody, oh, is that, wait, that's Vikram. Wait,
It's
how's that
Vikram.
Vikram when his eye sitting right there? Oh shit, that's the guy from the beginning of the movie, isn't it? Hold
Yes,
on, wait,
sir.
how it? Okay, wait, something's going on here. Why they
Mm.
look alike? Is this
Hold
time
up.
travel? That's
Hold
my
a minute.
brain was going a million miles a minute in that moment. I was like, is it time travel or what's going on?
Yeah, I kind of thought time travel too for a second. I was like,
Yeah,
is this
the
like an
time travel
older
was the first
version?
go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's not time travel. This is the real Vikram Rathore, aka Azad's father. So within all of that, Kali is in Russia and he's peddling his wares, telling the highest bidders that you pay for me to get elected and you can put a plant wherever you want to, build your factories, and nobody's going to complain because I'll be the one who runs all the regulation. And he ends up making a deal with a guy who's half robot with a pet cheetah.
That's the best. That
I thought he was
Russian
Darth Vader bootleg.
dude, the
Man.
Russian mobster with the Bane mask and the cheetah is awesome.
Yeah, y'all watched Archer, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot. Yeah.
No, but you're aware that was Barry, bro.
You stupid.
That was evil Barry. Tell me that. Sidebar. Tell me that's not evil Barry.
It absolutely was.
What we doing, other Barry?
Both
I
of
don't know,
them
Barry.
robots. Both of them evil and very
Other Barry,
nonchalant.
man. It's 1,000% right. It's the nonchalant that made me go, "Oh shit, that's other Barry."
I don't have a problem. You have a
You
problem.
have a problem. No, my friend. But yeah, other Barry. For if you know, you know. But anyway, when his name is not Vikram, when Kali returns home, he discovers that Manish is dead. And even though he told Manish not to act out emotionally, he's now decided that he's going to act out emotionally and set the town on fire. And it's like,
Yeah.
so that's smart,
As you
stupid.
do.
Yeah, that is what you do. When they take out your man and you the kingpin, you gotta set some shit aflame.
Mm.
But yeah, so Narmada is back in action after Manish thought that she had flipped. Guess who never got that memo? Kali. So he's not under this thing where he's now hunting her. He's still only hunting Azad. And I don't even know, no, we find out in a minute. He definitely knows that they're married now. Narmada decides that she's going back into she's going into the prison so that she could find Azad and get information from the girls because they have to trust her because she's Azad's wife. And I'm like, you stupid, like, ma'am, no, they're smarter than you already. They've proven that over and over.
Right.
No, they're gonna tell you the truth because they know that their truth has more validity than your anger.
Right.
Mhm.
And
And
that's
guess
when we
what?
get the story of Azad.
Yep.
That's when we get the story of Vikram.
Flashback time.
Yeah,
This is all of this.
flashback.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. You right.
Mhm.
You right.
1986 wrestling
What?
match in the mud. What's
Mhm.
happening?
Man,
Um,
it goes down.
it goes down. Uh, Actually, yeah. So it starts with that. Is they have this dance off or a wrestling match. Vikram and his wife at the time, they have a little match as well. He tosses her around. She tosses him around. Of course, she wins as she should. That's how it goes.
Absolutely.
Um, and that's somebody's wife. Watch your mouth. But
Hey, I didn't say nothing disrespectful. She's supposed to
I know,
win.
I know. I'm sorry.
She's so fine.
It was an opportunity, and I couldn't let it go. But yeah, it's 1986, and they have them a match. They go, and at the end of him and his wife dancing together, he's basically approached by a military man and given his new orders. When he's called into action, he goes. Him and his boys are told that 40 truckers were kidnapped. 32 soldiers were sent over there. Six were held as uh,
Hostages.
held captive. Yeah, held as hostages. Thank you. And the rest of them were sent home in boxes. This doesn't sit well with the special ops force or Vikram, so they decide to go and they not only get all of their things done and clean everything up, they end up having to take the weapons off of the other guys because their weapons jammed. They were faulty, which was clearly intentional because the same thing happened to the 32 men that went before them, and that's how that went down. So after escaping and getting out of the battle zone without weapons, they still got out. Only lost one guy who sacrificed himself, so we don't call that a loss. We call that a martyr.
I'm just gonna say one thing. He could have thrown those grenades.
Yeah,
I thought the same thing the
absolutely.
whole time. I was trying to
He
figure out
did
why he
not
did,
have to get up.
but he
I
absolutely.
even mentioned that and was like, why didn't he just throw him? It wasn't even that far away.
It
I
wasn't.
promise you,
It definitely
when he pulled them out, I was like, oh yeah, throw them shits. And
wasn't.
then
Wait
he
a
was
minute.
like, I'm sorry, chief. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute, something
Come
ain't
on,
right.
bro. What are you doing? Don't do that.
I was like, my boy, yeah, that threw me for such a loop. Like he did not have to kill himself, but they make it home, and at their ceremonial banquet, Ratore asks the higher ups, the I forget what they call them, but the higher up officials to get an official investigation into the company that they bought the weapons from because what happened to soldiers, and this is not acceptable. Callie basically comes to the court martial hearing and says, "Hey, yo, I'm sorry that happened. You know, I understand how that can go down when you have manuals that have foreign languages on them, and you know the operators just they didn't
Don't
have
know
enough
how to read.
training." And I'm like, he didn't just. Wow, this movie is written like amazingly because no, I don't think many people would have had the balls to put that in script. And they not only put
Human
it in
Well,
error.
script, that is
for a
like
villain.
Right.
A
yeah,
villain.
for
A
a
villain
villain.
would
It's
say
like that was like one of the like, oh yeah, even if you wanted to like this dude for any reason, you can't now. You can't now. He just don't care. He want to see everybody dead if he make money off of it.
Mhm.
Um, and Vikram gives him a fantastic display of, oh, this is how your weapons work. Yeah, if they worked the way they were supposed to, you'd be dead right now. So good thing for you, they don't.
Yep.
Callie doesn't take that nicely because now his companies are all potentially blacklisted by the government, and he decides to go kill Vikram's dog.
Yeah. Sad.
That was the most
That was
egregious part
crazy.
of that.
I didn't even understand, bro. I was like, hold on. Why we got to do the little like that? Like, that wasn't even like no big, I'ma bite you dog.
No.
That thing move when you walk past it because your shoes is bigger than it. Like, oh, that was crazy. But They do that. They end up taking Vikram, beating him, taking him up into the helicopter, shooting him 5 times, and kicking him out of the helicopter. He falls into a tree, which breaks the fall a little bit. He then falls into a river, smashes his head against a rock, and that's how he loses his memory. We already talked about how a little later he's picked up, taken into a village, and then he turns into their messiah when he wakes up later that night. So now we know how he got there. And that was 30 years before we currently are. So here we are. Uh, they've killed him. He's blacklisted. His wife kills the 3 officers that came for her, and she ends up being imprisoned because they were trying to frame her husband, and she wasn't for it.
Honestly, I think after she signed, they were probably going to kill her anyway, and it
Yeah,
was
they
just
were.
like preemptively, let me go on and do what I got to do.
Yeah,
And she stabbed
yeah,
him in
they
the neck with
absolutely
a
were.
pin.
They absolutely were. Also, skipped over that young Callie was beating up a person inside of the heavy bag. There was blood dripping from the heavy bag, so he was actually
Right.
killing somebody with his punches, or torturing them. Maybe they weren't dead, but they were beaten to a
Or
pulp for
it's just
sure.
body parts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or it's just body parts because that's what he. Yeah, I mean, dude was kind of sick, bro. So I'm with Nick. That actually is plausible.
Mhm.
They go to hang. What's her name?
The
Ashwaryara.
mother
Ashwarya.
is named. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Yes, Ashwarya. Ashwarya.
Ashwarya.
Mhm.
Um, they go to hang her, and she ends up passing out. They check her pulse and discover that she is pregnant. And in India, the law is that you cannot execute a pregnant woman until the child is of the age of 5. So she has 5 more years. She gets to raise her child, but she does have to raise him in jail. He's the only kid in jail. But that means he has a bunch of caretakers, a bunch of aunties, people that he can look up to that's actually going to take care of him and love him. And that's really what he got. Excuse me. His mom turns 5. He ends up, I mean, she is hanged as her sentence was. And uh, he is left with Warden Kaveri. And she is the person who raised him, explains everything to him. And she is also the person who picks him up when he sees his mother's dead body. She's also still working in the prison much later when he becomes the warden. So I thought that was actually full circle pretty cool. And I'm like, oh, that's why she's still there because she's like a mom to him.
Right. Well, she
Um,
adopted him officially.
yeah, she officially adopted him. You're correct. You're correct. Uh, Before Narmada goes back in to get the information and get the story that she's given, uh, she tells her daughter to only listen to Uncle Irani, which I knew immediately was a bad decision.
I think we all saw that one coming. Never trust a skinny guy with glasses in these movies.
In
Yes,
those
that's
in
true.
those ears, never trust those ears. You saw those ears. That
Yeah.
man had cauliflower ear, and I guarantee you ain't no fighting in his background.
Stupid.
I'm just saying.
But at this point, though, I was kind of upset. It was like, didn't she get shot? Are we just
Yep.
ignoring that completely?
This movie is fantastical, bro. She's one of the main stars.
Look,
What
I
you
get
said,
that.
and and she has elite military/police training. She can take a bullet. It was clean wound, in and out, in and out.
But she ain't even hurting.
No, that's why she
Okay.
smashed her head into the glass so that she could show that she was in pain.
Oh,
Yeah, she needed a
right.
fresher wound.
She definitely needed a friend. Like,
That
that's
is
the
the
part.
gunshot.
I
Yeah.
swear to you, that's what I was thinking too. Like, I get why you brought it up, Mike, because that's what I was thinking. Like, you didn't have to do that. You have a gun. Don't you have a bullet in your arm?
But no, because the wound is completely not there.
I
Yeah,
think
no,
it's
she ain't got no
just
bullet in her arm.
she needed to look like she got tuned up by the government so that the girls
Yeah.
would trust her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
hey,
I
listen,
mean, why
we
wouldn't
done
they?
heard. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it vaguely and keep pushing. We done heard other stories of women catching bullets and doing more, so we gonna let it go.
Right.
So
Whatever do you mean?
I don't know. I'm not even a hip hop fan.
There you
So
go.
Narmada is told that Kavadi raised Azad. She's given the entire story about Azad's life, his mother, his father. And even though this whole thing's going on, she's still on mission. She just want to
Yep.
see him. Where is Azad? Listen here, lady. Me and you, we gonna fight. We gonna
Right.
fight. That's straight up. I don't care what you've been trained in.
With pillows.
Um, so we see that he's safe. He's with the special ops crew. He's back at his lair. Um, and the whole crew is back together. Vikram ended up being found, like I said earlier. Uh, the bullet wounds, the head wounds, all of that wasn't enough to kill him. And that's something that's said by one of his boys a little later. He didn't want to die that day. It's that simple.
Yep.
Too much to do.
Too much to do. Got shit to do. Can't be dying out here in these streets.
We also have to say
Um,
that Vikram is amnesiatic, so he
Yes.
Right.
doesn't know that he doesn't feel like he's
A father.
a father. Yeah,
Yeah. Or anything other than a murderer, really.
right.
To be fair, he wouldn't have known that he was a father, so that's why he couldn't believe it. On top of being
Right.
amnesiac or whatever.
Well,
word
he
you
lived.
use.
He was living in that town for 30 years.
Right.
Yeah. So for 30
True.
years, he ain't had no kids. He ain't settled down, meet nobody new. He just shaving wood and staying in shape. Pause. So the kid from the village turned out to be the cop on the train, and that's who ended up going back, finding Vikram, bringing him back to civilization, and collecting all of his special ops buddies to kind of try to bring him back to the fold. But essentially, he gives him back. He gives Vikram back his life, and Vikram has no memory of everything. Fast forward, we already said all of that. Irani, we find out, works for Kali, and he threatens Suji. Bad move, my dude. And he threatens Narmada as well. Um, oh, I don't know why that just popped in my head. When Azad is having a sentimental moment with Vikram, who is not in the moment because he just doesn't have those emotions. Azad kisses him on the cheek and he goes, "It is okay
Don't
to
kiss me.
cry, but don't kiss me."
Right. I don't know you like that, bro.
Yeah.
We ain't cool like that.
I was like, damn right. Oh no, you dog. Now, if I'm
Hey,
your daddy, we ain't got no problem with that. But I ain't your daddy. I'm in your daddy buddy.
I ain't
Pause.
convinced. What a DNA test.
What a DNA test. Um, so Azad and Vikram are watching everything go down on camera, and they decide to head into action. Suji goes, he saves, I mean, Suji goes. Vikram goes and saves Suji after Irani put her in a caravan, clearly to be killed. And Azad goes to save the women and Narmada while they're at the prison. In that process, this is when Lakshmi is shot, and Dr. Iram does try to save her, and even Vikram tries to save her, but to no avail. She is not saved. Um,
Tragedy.
these it's like they had to go through all of these things because at a certain point you realize the only people that knows that they're trying to do good is them, and the government is on Cali's side. So that essentially means the people are on Cali's side because they're on the government side. Nobody really knows what's going on. They see these people as bad people, but now this
Well,
is about to. Well, what?
not necessarily because he live streams a lot of that stuff. So the people kind of know that they're doing good.
Right. Well, and so what I was gonna say is, so this is the third thing they're about to get into, and now it's very clear that the people are starting to understand. But at first, it seemed as if a few people would
Right.
understand, but mostly the people who were affected. In this situation, now what they've done is, as Kylie is burying Manish, the team attacks his money. He thinks about it. He ends up getting over there, and Azat and the girls end up getting away with the money. They go to the prison or the jail, excuse me, and they host a new act of terror, I guess is what they would call it, because they did not take his money. They took a bunch of voting machines, but at the same time, I'm sorry, Azad went to get the girls, but at the same time, Vikram and the old guys, they went to take care of Kali and his boys. So they essentially got kidnapped, taken, and they're being tortured for information on where Azad and everybody is. Um, let's see. They get tortured. they're at the prison. They go through all of these things, and as they're going through the ups and downs, he asks for a new. He being Azad. Azad asks for a new negotiator. The new negotiator comes. His name is what was it like? Nyanak? Nayak. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, Nayak.
is it?
Nayak. Maybe
Yeah,
Nayak.
yeah. Madhavan.
Madhavan Nayak. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the new negotiator, he shows up and he ain't here to negotiate. We ain't talking about nan, bruh. Give me 100 commandos, send them in there, bring me back his head. I gotta go have lunch with my wife. Like he walk up like big man in the room. He know who he is. He know his power. He's swinging it. And
Can I be
guess
honest
what?
about that, dude?
What's up?
I thought that was John Goodman.
That
What?
is hilarious. He definitely looks like a no. He can be an Indian John Goodman. I see it.
Maybe.
I thought it was
I
for a
see.
second. I was like, wait a minute.
He looks like John Goodman in the Big Lebowski, but a little slimmer.
Yeah.
You funny. I'm mad. I know exactly which movie you were talking about too. Hey,
You
what
look
what
like
was
it.
what
What can I say?
My dad's Mr. I'm the dude.
Right.
Um man, good movie. So yeah, he sends one man back out as Zod does, and he is there to report. The report he brings back is it is not one man and 6 women in that prison. It is one man and 6,000 women. It's an army.
Right.
Just sent us in there to death, sir. Glad
Thank
I'm
you for that.
alive. Yeah, thank you for that. Glad I'm alive. Also, he said we might want to back up and not come within 10 feet of the gates of the prison walls because there's landmines.
Mhm.
And Nyack throws rocks and finds out, hey, he's a good man. He told the truth. He wasn't trying to scare us. Back the fuck up. Girl, you look good once you back that ass up. Like for real. Move back for real. Stop playing.
Ooh.
So all is out once at this point. He's shown that he has the voting machines. He's shown that everything is being held up because he wants it to be. And there won't be any new machines. In order for them to be new machines, there was a small montage of people talking about that. Like, why would they take the machines? They can just make new ones. Like they could make new ones, but by the time they're up and running, one of the grandfathers seemed like he was talking to like about an 11-year-old kid, and he's like, by the time they're ready to be used, your kids will be ready to vote.
Right. That's how
Which
deep the
means
corruption goes.
exactly. And I thought that was pretty good. Like again, the way they're sending the right messages to more than one society. Besides just requesting the signature of the head of state on an executive order, I don't think we ever are told what that executive order is for.
It was a resolution to give in to the demands of Azad because they have that meeting where but I forget what the demand was. It was
Oh, I remember the demand. Yeah. So
mm,
yeah, I got you. That's actually coming up right now. So they request the signature of the head of state on executive order. Suji exits the jail with packages to deliver to the police. She almost got shot because the sniper was told anybody walk out, you pop them. The sniper was just nice enough to realize it was a kid and go, sir, what should I do? But I don't know if this was an American cinema. He was told to shoot whomever comes out of there. Just telling you what probably would have happened if it was an American cinema. Probably
Yeah.
would have been a headshot. But or at least, an abdomen shot, and then this little girl strong enough to survive that from a 50 cal somehow. But what ends up happening is she drops 2 voting machines. They send in the bomb squad and they they discover that's all that it is. That's what it was. The executive order is to close down 53 factories.
oh right, yeah.
To close those factories down because they're spreading pollution, they're killing people, and they're not really doing the service that they said they would be doing towards the Indian people. And so this also hurts Cali's agenda to expand and build more factories. So, he gets a call, and that's what Mike was talking about a little earlier. He gets a call from the Russian Barry. Other Barry calls, and he lets them know, so you just had to close 13 of your factories. How are you going to open up more? And it's like, oh, you don't need to worry. Like, oh, I'm not worried. You need to worry because you got my money. But we'll talk later. Yeah, Kelly looked like he about to piss his pants. Just being real. I think he understands that he's in deeper than knees. Yeah. But the
Do you
head of the state,
mean? Or do you mean Santa?
that was hilarious. Now, and that Vikram, whether it be Vikram or Azad posing as Vikram, was easily the funniest person in this whole damn movie.
Mhm.
Like, just didn't take nothing seriously. I know I can win any fight, and I'm gonna just make you look like an ass. So hey, why not?
Yep.
But yeah, that was funny because it's like, do you know who I am, Santa? And he kind of looks around like,
Right.
am I wrong? So let's see. Oh, the head of state believes that for once the right thing is being done because they're not being blackmailed for personal gain. They're being blackmailed to do the right thing by the people. And that's all that Vikram and or Azad wanted from the beginning is for the people to be done right by. Vikram wanted the people to be done right. I mean, the soldiers to be done right by, and Azad is working for the people. Now, what also happens is we get a oh the clicking. I actually almost just skipped that over right now. So as Kelly tortures the old guys and they end up getting into the jail because one of them gave up information, he's still torturing everybody. He's beaten. Also, real quick, listen, I should have been born in India because I don't know how many times you can get smacked in the face with a lock the size of that lock on the end of a chain, and your face don't
Man.
even start bleeding. Your face ain't swollen, nothing. Male and
Nothing.
female.
Nothing.
Everybody got hit with that thing, and everybody was just, even when Callie was getting beat up with it. Callie was taking that thing like it was just sliding off his back.
Man, look.
Just saying, it was still cool, but I was curious. Like, so I know it's styrofoam because it's this prop, but in real life, I think that would do a little more damage than what it's doing. Maybe a couple of squishy moments, if you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
But yeah, so for once they're being blackmailed into doing the right thing, the guys get into the jail, and while Callie is torturing Azad, he decides that he's going to torture Azad even further by killing his father. So he goes, he gets one of his pistols from his company, he loads it, chambers, make sure it's off safety, and it doesn't fire.
Click,
It
click.
doesn't fire. And then he tries it again, and he tries it again. And I think he tried it about 20 some odd times. He even goes all the way behind Azad, tries to be funny, makes a countdown, click, 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 still don't fire. But every time he pulls the trigger, that clicking sound is waking Vikram's memory up. He's having a flashback in his brain at that moment where he's starting to remember everything that happened, and it's coming full circle. And so he puts his past together with what he lived through the last 30 years and his current. And when he stands up, you see a different look in his eye. I also
Super Saiyan
appreciated that.
mode.
Super Saiyan, God mode.
Mhm.
But absolutely. There's a different look in his eye. And again, this is where when we were talking about the acting, right? This guy, what was his name again? Surukan? Shahrukh Khan. That the lead actor though. I think it's Shahrukh Khan.
Oh yeah.
That sounds like a
Um,
tiger.
Shere Khan.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
one.
But he played Azad and Vikram, so he played both characters. And I actually appreciated that we got seemingly three different versions of Vikram through this guy. You got Vikram portrayed by Azad, you got Vikram with no memory, and then you got Vikram the father.
Mhm.
And they all had kind of a different temperament about them. And I really appreciated that. Like that's the kind of thing that make me like, man, we got to get this channel a little further so I can start. Can I interview some of these folk? Like, I gotta ask some questions. Like, so what was your preparation like for this? Would you consider this method acting, or what? Who did you study under? But let's see. Oh, at that point, before they get into the jail, Azad reveals that it's been him in the chair the whole time by going on the television and taking off his mask and explaining that he is not Vikram, he is Azad, and everybody knows Azad because he's apparently the most famous warden in the whole country because of his accomplishments. Now, this is when he asks for the one demand of all people. And that one demand is a demand. This is the part that I believe is for all societies. That one demand is to put the same amount of care, the same amount of question, the same amount of doubt into your voting choices that you put into every other choice. Why do you buy this car? Why do you eat this? Why do you wear that? Why do you hang out with this person? Why do you shop there? Have that same level of scrutiny, if not more, for the people that you put in office to run your life. Because you'll take the time for you'll take 5 hours to make a decision on what light bulb to buy at Home Depot, but you won't take 5 seconds to learn more about the person who you're putting in office to run your country and your household. I thought that was such a pivotal statement, and there's a lot of democracies around the world nowadays. So I think people really need to be aware of that because, to my knowledge, everywhere hasn't always had that ability. Sometimes you just got somebody new stepping into the seat and you ain't get no say so. So with you having to say they would like for people, or he's asking for people to put more care into that. Would you guys agree?
I mean, that is what he's asking.
Yeah. I just want making sure like that's what he's saying, right? Because I don't know what else he could be asking. But yeah, trust yourself and you'll have a better society and you won't need a Vikram or an Azad. Is his message, and then he decides to return the machines one container every 10 minutes. Kali G gets into the prism because again, it was snitched onto. And yeah, he wakes up his memory. We said that already. Just like the rifles, we said that already.
Boss battle.
They have their fight. Sorry?
Boss battle.
Boss battle. You're right. This is definitely the boss battle. They have the big fight, which also is kind of comedy. Like this fight wasn't per se the best fight, but in my opinion, it was more slapstick than any of the other fights. Like parts of this fight kind of seemed real Three Stooges-esque. I liked it, but that's just where we went. Yeah, for real though.
This guy, eh?
And let's see. From there, we just get into what did they do?
They fought. They win.
Thank you. Oh yeah, they fought. He ends up winning, and Kylie ends up getting hanged the same way that Vikram's wife or Aishwarya was hung. And Azad makes fun of him the same way that he made fun of his mother, which I thought was crazy because he had to be taught that he was a baby in her belly. But Kylie is screaming and begging for a deal, and for the second time in life, Vikram tells him,
No deal.
No deal.
No deal.
And Kaveri watches as well, which is also full circle for her character because she had to watch her friend be murdered. So she also got to watch this guy. So it's kind of like, absolution of the situation for her. They end up moving what seems like to South America. And we find out that Nayak has been working with Azad the whole time because they're boys. In fact, Nayak is the boss. He's in charge. And he shows up in South America to give Azad and Vikram a new mission to go on and save the world, which, that just seems to be what happens in these movies nowadays. Every movie has to end when it's kind of like a super spy type thriller or action flick where it's like, hey, we got a new job coming. Yeah, to me though, this did not give me the impression of a part two. Even though I would like a part two, but it didn't give that impression. It doesn't give me Fast and Furious vibes.
No, it's just to illustrate that the adventure continues. That
Right.
they're going to go off
The
and
saga
do their
continues.
thing. Yeah,
With the world's most dangerous crew, 4 deep in
Yeah.
the coop.
yeah. And then they dance at the end.
Yeah, they did.
It's good.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Did you just catch that, Mike?
I got it immediately.
Oh, okay. Okay. But yeah, no, yeah, they have another dance scene, and I don't know. The dance scenes were entertaining. Like they were the later ones, right? Reminded me of it reminded me of those R&B pop videos from like the mid 2000s, like your Chris Browns and stuff, where it's like, yo, is everybody looking like they straight out of South Side Story? What's going on here?
Well, the main recurrent theme for all the dance scenes is that there's a big fan blowing everybody's hair in the wind.
Yep.
That's the big takeaway.
Yeah.
That's true. That's fact.
Looking like they're
But yeah.
skydiving.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I was not supposed to real laugh into the mic like that. But yeah, so that is the wrap of this storytelling moment. Not exactly the ending that I thought. I actually thought the ending was going to be a little more grandiose than it was, but it was still impactful and everything was finished. Like I said at the beginning, every single story in this came full circle. You did not get a backstory on all six of the girls that were with Azad, but the stories that you did get painted the picture as well as it needed to be painted in um the impact and the help of each individual person when it came to getting these missions done on screen at least. It's impressive. Like Ocean's 11 maybe. Like there's not many movies where you have such a ensemble cast type of a thing and you're like, "Oh no, everybody was actually kind of important to this."
Yeah,
But
I
yeah.
mean, definitely good supporting characters for sure.
Mhm, mhm. But yeah, so with that being said, that is our wrap. Let's get to some final thoughts and some ratings, fellas. What you thinking out there? How we doing? Should I go first? Y'all want me to go first? You want me to go first?
No, it's Mike's
I think
turn.
you want to go first.
You're right. No, 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 no. Mick just made a point. It's your choice.
Hmm. You got to review it.
Oh, I'm perfectly okay. I gave it an 8. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
can't. There's no such thing as a perfect movie for me, but an 8,
Mhm.
absolutely. I liked all the characters. I like the story. I like the acting to a degree. Don't care for dance music, but I enjoy this movie just the same. Um, I don't have any I don't have any actual complaints about this movie. I think the overarching theme where they were discussing
Oh,
Oh,
we
oh,
lost you, buddy.
you were going in and out. I think you
You're
just went out.
roboting.
government that you have, and when you vote, you need to start questioning your leaders. What can they do for the people? I thought that theme was absolutely important, and I thought it crossed all countries, all religious beliefs. I thought that theme was powerful and impactful, and I like this movie. What can I say?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really
I like
like
this
this
movie.
movie. And I honestly, for me, this is probably the best movie of 2023 for me. For me personally,
Nice.
because most of the movies that came out in 23, most of them are pretty awful. Most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some pretty
Yeah.
bad
So
movies
that
did
I
come
that's
think
out.
my
it's
take.
I think it's probably number 2 for me, at least from what we reviewed.
Right.
Yeah, I like this movie too. I think it was pretty decent. I've already said what I liked about it at the beginning, so I won't reiterate all of that. But it was fun. I'm thinking a good solid 7.5 for me.
Nice.
Enjoyable. I think that I've gave RRR a 9, and I don't know if it's at that level for me. So, yeah, a 7.5. I think it's a lot of enjoyment. I think the only reason I'm not giving it an 8 is because I gave um, No One Will Save You an 8, and I enjoyed that just a little bit more than this movie. So,
Fair enough.
yeah, 7.5 for me.
That's a solid rating right there. All right,
Mhm.
sounds good. Yeah, I'm with Nick. I said all the good things. This is one of those movies where it's not a lot of bad to add, so I really would be reiterating the same. Which at the beginning I kind of reiterated what Nick and Mike said, just in my own words. So
Mhm.
yeah, did enjoy this. Overall, I'm right there where Nick is at a 7.75. I wanted to give it an 8, maybe even cross that line and give it an 8.5. But like I've always said, I gotta shed a tear. You gotta hit me emotionally for me to cross that 8. At the same time, my reason for wanting to more so hit that 7 mark is exactly what Nick just said. There are other movies that have that solid 8, and I think I gave RRR a solid 9, like not a 10, but a solid 9. Or I might have gave it a 10 as a non-cry, which would have been a winner, right? But this is, I wouldn't say this is B class, but we would put this on tiers. So like if RRR is S tier, this is A tier.
Yeah.
You know, it's really good. It just does, it won't per se make my top 5 yet, but there are some things that could probably move around. So yeah, I would give this a solid 7. It definitely can get so much more. It is again, like honestly, you could almost give it a perfect score, as well as it is the like I said, the number one grossing Indian movie right now, or probably of all time, I believe it is. So it's good. We ain't gotta we don't have to put no sugar on top of it. We don't have to add nothing. It's very clear that this is a good movie, and our ratings are simply to explain to you where that median of like is. So for me, I'll give it a 7.5 as well as Nick. Mike gave it an 8. So yeah, what's that? 15, 8, 23, 23 out of 30 gives us about a 7.1,
No, it'd be a 7.6,
7.6. Okay, my bad.
7.6, 7.7 ish.
How dare you try to cheat this movie?
Yeah, you were
Okay.
about to shave off a whole
Dare
half
you.
My
point.
bad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, no,
Well,
that wasn't intentional. But yeah, no, this is solid, man. This is one of those. This is how they say.
yeah.
This is one of those ones, as they say.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. It was a decent flick, good action, all that good stuff. So
Question everything.
there you go.
There you go. Question everything, even me.
Nah, don't question me.
Never.
Try Jesus. Don't try me.
Don't try me. That's for sure. But yeah, with that being said, that has been our review of the Jawan extended cut. I wonder how long the original cut is, but hey, be crazy if theater cuts like an hour and a half. Be like, hey,
No,
come on
it's
now, what
2
y'all
hours
doing?
and 45 minutes.
I'm tired of you. Get over here.
They cut out the
5
marriage
minutes for the
scene.
extended cut,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, this has been our review of Jawan, the movie that's currently showing on Netflix. Go ahead, check that out. As you guys can tell, we loved it. We thought it was amazing. It gets a solid score from us. It gets a solid review from us. And hey, if we have some friends that want to watch it again and we're around, guess what? It'll get a double watch from us. So yes,
Absolutely.
go ahead, check out Jawan. It's currently showing on Netflix. If you listen to and or watch this review after you watch that movie, go ahead, drop in the comments, let us know how you feel, what you thought, everything that's going on with you about that, and we'll be sure to, check it out, see how you feel, probably respond. But for the most part, we appreciate you guys for tuning in to this current review of Jawan. Screen Time Continuum will be back for you on Sundays, as we always are here for you Wednesdays and Sundays to give you some marvelous content, some great reviews, and or just to tell you that was shit, don't go watch it. But for the most part, we're usually going to tell you to even check it out when we don't like it. Why? Because you have your own opinion, and that's what makes the world go around. Please check out all of our shows that we typically have, Please check out all of our shows that we have. We're typically out here for you, giving you new content as often as we possibly can. Go ahead and check out our screen, your screen, the screen. Screenshot that, send it to your friends, and know that if numbers could talk, Screen Time Continuum, Exofathom, and This Merry Moment are always going to be there for you on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Spotify. And we're going to try to add that to some other platforms for you. Hey, why not? But you can also go on over to Twitch and check out Strawberries and Coffee, as well as King_of_Ilion, where Dijon and Mike will be giving you various games, some in the vault, some brand new, and some on the cloud. Hey, you didn't know that you had cloud games now, did you? I just let you know. Go ahead and check those out. We appreciate you guys for coming on over here to the Screen Time Continuum. For the Screen Time, my name is Keelan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Mike.
And we appreciate you guys for tuning in. I need to go buy some cigars because he reminded me of how great it is to smoke a great cigar.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can
Like,
light them with the metal on the end.
Man, look, if that wasn't the best part, that was dope, though, to be fair.
That was pretty
hey,
cool.
man, a lot of good
While sliding on a motorcycle.
right.
A lot of motorcycle missiles.
A lot of them.